At Dollar Tree, they're now carrying these really cool tray boxes. They have two different styles. They have more of a traditional box and this scalloped one. For our first DIY, we're going to use the traditional one, and I'm going to start by staining it with the color Golden Oak. I'll apply the stain with a foam brush and wipe off the excess. A technique I like to do to make items look more vintage is to add on a stencil or vinyl. And if you don't have a cutting machine, let me show you a quick technique that you can use to create a transfer with just a regular printer. Now you can use any picture you have. I found a print that I liked on Etsy. I purchased it and downloaded it, and that's what I'm gonna be using. The picture I'm gonna be using is this lavender piece, and you can create multiples of these on your paper and just print it out. Next, what you're going to do is cut out your picture, whatever you're going to be transferring on. Next, determine where you're going to place it and then add some Mod Podge to the outside of the box. Then you're going to place the paper face down. So wherever the print is, you're going to put that facing onto your box. Then you're going to let it dry for several hours. Come back after a few hours and use a wet paper towel, and you're going to get the paper wet, and you can use a circular motion to remove the paper. The trick here is not removing too much so that your stencil gets removed. All you want to do is just remove all of that white paper. The other thing you have to keep in mind with this technique is you may remove some of your stencil. In my case, I didn't mind because I wanted it to have more of a worn look, but just keep that in mind that some of your stencil might get removed. This kind of box is perfect to set out in your home. You can style it with some of your favorite vintage books. All of mine are from the thrift store. There's so many wood pieces and wood boxes that they're selling right now at Dollar Tree. Let me show you a way you can create your own storage unit using those items. So for this project, you're going to need 6 of the Dollar Tree wood boxes. You're also going to need 2 of their long wood pieces. You're also going to need some wood glue. So I'm going to start by attaching 2 boxes together. So I'll add some wood glue to the side, place the box next to it, and then I'm going to use my clamps to hold them in place until they dry. Usually the wood glue will set up within an hour or 2. So I'll repeat those steps with all 3 of my box sets. Next, I want to attach these boxes to the 2 side panels. So to do this, I'm going to add wood glue to the outside, and I'm going to be placing those side wood panels, and I'll attach them the same way using wood clamps. I'll do this until I have all of the boxes attached. Now, if you're wondering where to put the center box, I just measured between that wood panel to find the center so that I placed it directly in the center. After you have your entire structure put together, you're gonna let this dry for a few hours. Now you can keep it exactly as it is. You could paint it. I'm gonna be adding in a dark gel stain in the color coffee. Now, since it's already put together, I'm gonna be using a regular brush, and I will just paint on this stain, and using a paper towel, I'll remove any excess. So I'll do this on the entire structure. Once it's dry, you can use this to organize anywhere in your house. I'm going to be using this in my bathroom to organize all of my products. Boxes are a great way to store a lot of your smaller collectibles. I found this one at the thrift store very inexpensive, so I picked it up. I wanted to put a variety of little items in here. The first thing I did was I had this wood round piece, and I had a print from Dollar Tree. I cut that print down so that it was the size where it would fit onto the wood round and I could still see a border around the edge, and I attached it with hot glue. And then I just went box by box filling it. Now my tip here is to make sure that you have a variation in size. So you want some items that are a little bit larger, some that are a little bit smaller. My second tip is if you can add a little bit of variation in color, it's going to give your box a little bit more visual interest, but you don't want too many colors. For mine, I stuck with blues, greens, and browns. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is DIY. For this next DIY, you're gonna need 3 of the Dollar Tree boxes. I wanted to turn these boxes into wall hangings, so I'm gonna be using some of the Dollar Tree peel and stick wallpaper. There's several varieties right now. I'm gonna be getting the one in a herringbone wood finish. So I'm gonna first figure out where the center point is on each of these wood boxes, and I'll mark it. Next, using my paper, I'm gonna place it so that the center point is at the center point of my box, and I will press that down. Now I did cut my paper down a little bit so that I could use a little bit on each one. Now to cut it off, I wanted it to be flat on the back side, so I'm gonna be using an X-Acto knife all around the edges. Now if you don't get it cut perfectly, you can always go back in with your X-Acto knife. And I'll do that for all 3 of the boxes. Now, if you notice on mine, some of the edges, I kind of tore the paper a little bit. So to disguise that, I'm gonna be using a Sharpie around the edges. This honestly just gives a little bit of dimension to it, and it covers up all of those flaws. Next, I'm gonna be using some greenery to put at the top. This is a greenery pick that I've had from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna cut the pieces off and use about 3 in each of my boxes. And you already have those edging pieces, so I'll just place them into the top and hot glue them to the middle of my box. And then I'll repeat these steps for all 3. These look so cute sitting out on my shelf, or you could attach them to your wall. Hey guys, I'm Liz and you're watching my second DIY channel where I post daily DIY videos. You may be familiar with my main channel, Liz Fenwick DIY, but I'm glad that you found me over here on my second channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so you just get notified every day when I post our daily DIY video.